Alright guys, welcome back to Whiskey and Motorcycles channel. So, as you know from the last video, we're out on the road right now. We just finished up with Sturgis. Yesterday I rode from Sturgis to Kansas, about 650 miles to my parents' house. Stayed the night there. Then this morning I got up and hit the road. I'm headed down to Louisiana, around the Shreveport area, to do some stuff in the military with my buddy down there. We'll be down there for a few days, and then we'll kind of head back up, or head back up through my parents' house. And then on the way home, we're going to hit BEARTOOTH Highway and the LOLO Pass, starting in Montana and going on down through Idaho. So those will both hopefully be pretty cool. That's about all I really have planned for this trip as far as stuff like that. So the video will probably be a little bit more when we get there. I'm gonna have to do an oil change on this when I get back to Kansas. It'll be about time. I have about 3,000 miles, slightly over, so I'm gonna go ahead and do an oil change, and then like I said, we'll hit the road from there and go home. Take about 3 days to get home. Just kind of because we're gonna go through those passes and stuff. But yeah, I got up this morning. We had rain last night into the morning, and I didn't really have to ride in the rain, but the roads are still wet when I took off, so I had my rain gear and stuff on. I rode about 135 miles, and then I stopped. I fueled up, took all that stuff off. I got my hoodie on now. It's about 80 degrees, but it's kind of a cool 80 degrees because, you know, the sun's not out yet and whatnot, so I'm pretty comfortable as I am right now. But it's nice to get the rain gear off because although it's not super uncomfortable, I feel like I can move around a lot better without it. So yeah, by the time you watch this video too, you've probably seen the YouTube short. I just recorded it at that last stop. Kind of showed you the bike. It's really dirty right now. Dragging all the bugs I've had on it, and then just the dirt, and then the rain, dirt from the road. So when we get back up to Kansas, do that oil change and stuff, I'll probably end up washing it there if I don't get time to down here. I don't know. We'll kind of see. But anyways, I just wanted to do the introduction for this video, kind of let you know what this video is going to be about, just more about the trip. And I'll catch up with you guys in a little while. Alright, what's up guys? So I showed you that I was on the way down Louisiana from Kansas. I was down there for a little while. Just now getting back to Kansas now, getting ready to pull up my mom and dad's house here in just a second. There wasn't nothing to film down there really. I didn't do anything else other than like kind of work stuff and hang out with my buddy down there. So yeah, I didn't film any of that. And I don't know how much I'll actually film here. I do got to do an oil change and wash my bike and stuff like that. So I may talk to you guys a little bit while I do that. But then after that, once I get back on the road and go through some of them passes and stuff, I will record a little bit more then and kind of try to document as much of that as I can. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready and pull up back there to get in the pool because I'm at their house now. Park right over here in the shade. I made it. Huh? Made it. Yeah, you did. You're on film. Huh? You're on film. On film? Yeah. Right. You didn't clean it up, did you? Huh? You didn't clean it up, did you? No.
gonna do that at your house. Yeah, as you guys can see, it's still plenty dirty. I ran into even more rain after I did that short the other day. Yeah. Alright, well, I'm gonna jump in the pool. Okay guys, so I got a little extra content to film for you because I have a small issue with the motorcycle. Nothing too crazy, but something I gotta work on. I'm gonna do the oil change and wash it up today too. But yesterday I stopped for my last gas stop, and my rear brake's been acting up on the trip. I had a couple things, the spacers and the pistons. I had them in there backwards at first when I first left, and so it was dragging a little bit. When I got to Sturgis, I was able to flip those around, and at that point though, I had to pump my brakes back up a little bit, bleed them out a little bit, and I got a little brake back, and then I wasn't quite getting it enough. And then finally when I got back here to Kansas that night, I messed with it again. I put more fluid in it because it was getting really low, and bled it again. It was fine. It worked for pretty much the whole time. I had one time I went to go get off the interstate and I had lost a bunch of pressure again, so I just kind of tried to pump them, and I got them pumped back up and they were working, and it had been fine. I left Louisiana yesterday and it was fine again. And one exit, when I got to get off my last stop, gas stop for the day, I went to hit the back brakes, and I kind of lost almost all pressure again. I had a little bit at the end, and so as I was coming off the exit, I was just kind of pumping them back up so I'd have some more. And pulled in this gas station. There was a guy pressure washing the ground, you know, washing up the in between the pumps, and I pulled up, and I seen like a little bit of steam coming. I thought some water just splashed up on the pipes. Didn't think much of it. I'd already turned the Bluetooth off on my helmet, and I was going to call my mom real quick and let her know when I was going to be here and whatnot. And so I tried to get her on the phone, and then my thing wasn't ringing, and I was like, what in the world? So I had to like quickly put my Bluetooth back on because she'd already answered, and I was like, about the time I asked her, I was like, okay, can you hear me now? I looked down, and right where, see if I can get it on the camera or not, it's kind of hidden behind this clutch line right there, but there's a T right here, and there's a sensor right here where that brake line switch goes in that actuates your rear tail light. I looked down, and there was a fire about yay big, and like I said, I still had my helmet on. I was like, oh shit, and I just tried to tear my helmet off as fast as I could. Kind of looked around real quick for a fire extinguisher. It was on the other side of the pillar I found later, but I didn't end up needing that anyways. It wasn't big enough. But the windshield washer deal was there and actually had something in it, thankfully. And I took the deal and just tried to squirt water on it at first. It wasn't enough. Tried to take my hands and do it. It was still going. So finally I just got a big old stack of paper towels, soaked it, and then squeezed it on there and got it out. And then I got some bottled water, put a little bit more on it. And I made it back. I didn't really use the rear brake anymore after that because I figured it must have been leaking there or something. I didn't think too much more of it. I only had about 110, 115 miles left to go. And I took off from there, got back. Like I said, I just didn't really use the rear brake. Got back, and as you've seen, I pulled up in the backyard, went swimming or whatnot, let the bike sit there, went and ate dinner. And then when we came out from dinner, I went to go move the bike back down the garage. I went to go start it, and it wasn't working. The accessories wasn't working and everything. Like the front headlight and stuff was coming on, but the accessory part wasn't working, and it wouldn't let me put my code in to start my bike. So I let it sit there for a little while longer. I thought maybe I just bumped it enough and it locked me out for a minute, the security thing, and I could never get it. So finally we just brought it down here, and I was like, well, it must be a fuse or something, because when I turned it to accessories, it wasn't working at all. And pulled the fuse out, and sure enough, it was blown. I swapped it with one of the other ones in there, one of the 15 fuses, and I tried it again, it wasn't working. And then I looked at the fuse, and it had popped that fuse, and I was like, huh, that's weird. And so I tried one more fuse, and when I turned it on, it started smoking down here. And I was like, oh, okay. So we stopped putting fuses in it, and what I think happened is that switch had all that fluid all over it, and since it must be somehow connected to the accessory, probably because of the lights, and even though the lights has its own fuse, and it must have just got wet enough that every time I was turning it on, it was soaked, and like that spark was causing it to pop. What I figured happened at the gas station is obviously it was leaking a little bit of fluid right there, and that's where I think I was losing my pressure over time too. But it was leaking a little bit of fluid there, and when I was coming off the interstate and I was pumping that rear brake, it was just making an electrical connection over and over and over right there, and the motor was really hot. The brake fluid was right there. Between all that, by the time I stopped, it didn't have the wind really blowing it out anymore, and it just kind of caught. And I think I probably used my rear brake a little bit when I was pulling up to the pump too, so that was just that one more ignite time at a slow speed, and it just kind of lit it up. So anyways, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get a switch in time. I'm gonna check. If I can, I'll just replace the switch, but for now I'm gonna at least try to get it plugged and then get my brake system back in, because I can just use my front brake just slightly a little bit to have my rear tail light come on, because that's all that is really. But like I said, it's not a big issue, but that's something that's happened on the trip. That's really the only issue I've had with the bike the entire time, I think. Everything else has been fine. Yeah, but I just wanted to bring you guys in on that, let you know. I'll probably update you here in a little bit and kind of show you what I fix on it though. Alright guys, so I tore a little bit of it apart. I got that switch out. As you can see, this is where normally the electronic part of it goes, and the little prongs come out to plug it in. Well, it was I cleaned it out a little bit with a pair of pliers, needle nose, but it just fell right out. It was crusted all up because it was so burnt up. So for now, like I kind of told you guys before, I want to put a brand new brake line and stuff on that bike anyways. So I'm just going to try to go get a plug and plug that hole for now. And then that way I can get my brakes working again. And then I'm going to go to the store and get some fuses. I don't know if that actually might show up. You can see that one's blown. They're all just 15 fuses. I'm just going to buy a pack and get all new ones. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my oil filter and stuff while I'm out too. And then come back and try to get some of that stuff done. Alright, we're gonna head back to the house now. I got a plug for it for now down at the hardware store. Got a pack of fuses because it's way cheaper, and I got way more. And I'll just take those with me now. And then I went and got me a chrome wicks filter for the oil change. I'm gonna be going down to a motorcycle shop, a local one here. Precision Motorsports. He's done some work on my bike. He did top end on this bike that we're out currently riding probably a few years ago now. And whenever I'm in town and I need oil, he carries AMSOIL. I try to go down and buy it from him. But anyways, we're gonna go try to get this brake stuff done first, get that going, and then we'll probably ride the bike down to go get the oil and do a couple things. And that way we can get that oil good and hot before we drain it. Change the oil, wash the bike, and we'll be about ready to rock here in a day or two to go back home. Alright, so like I said, I got this little brass plug from the hardware store. I'm gonna go ahead and throw just a little bit of plumber's tape on it, just like a wrap, one wrap or so. Nothing too much, because I don't think it needs a whole lot, but the other plug that was in there did have some, so we'll put a little bit on there just to try to help. Just like that. Literally one wrap. That's all I did around it. Now I'm gonna see if I can get the camera down here where you guys can see what I'm doing. It's gonna go right here. Get this extension stuff back out. So the way I put it on there was or took it off. It's just a big long socket. I'm gonna see if I can hand thread it a little bit to get it started though. Oh yeah. Way easier than I thought that was gonna be. That was good. This is a very tight spot to work here. And yeah, I just put a an extension in a deep well socket and ran it down along the frame right here, just so I could get it on there. Now we'll get it tied up in there hopefully, and hopefully that's where it was leaking out of. I'm pretty sure it was leaking out of where the electronics went in, from what I could tell. Alright, don't want to do that too tight. Ain't really got a whole lot of fluid in there anymore, so I'm gonna pop this cap off here and fill it full of fluid and get it bleeding a few times, and then I can hopefully be able to see if it's leaking or not. I'll try to show you real quick. Right down here, I went ahead and taped the wires up for now because the ends were kind of burnt up, and I want to be able to put new ends on them and then heat shrink them and stuff when I get home and do that new line and all that. So I went ahead and just taped them for now. I'll probably just kind of zip tie them up to the frame where they won't get further damaged. And yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to bleed these brakes real quick. I'm not gonna have you watch me do that, and then I'll pop back on here and let you know if we got it fixed or not, see if we got any more leaks and how we're doing. Okay, so I got it done. Didn't take very long. I just put that plug in there, right back in there. You see that little brass piece? Got that in there. Got the brakes pumped back up. They're doing much better. I don't see any leaks. I kind of just looked around that spot. I tried to wipe and clean up as much as I could down there. So hopefully that did the trick. I replaced a few of the 15 fuses. Told you I was going to replace them all. I went ahead and just replaced like the top 3 with the ones that I were kind of going back and forth, because there was one that didn't blow, and I was hoping, or I was thinking like maybe I shouldn't even try to put that one back in there in case it did stress that one and blow later. So yeah, I did that, and then sorry, see I got a little fluid on my front wheel. Clean that off, spray it with some clean. Anyways, yeah, so I just did that. And then there was a couple spare spots in there. One already had it, and then I went ahead and threw another new one in there for a spare. But we should be good now. Should have just been blowing because of that. But we're all fixed up for now. I'll maybe catch up with you guys after I get the oil change and wash the bike. But we'll see. We'll see where we go from there.
What's up, guys? So just leaving Kansas. We're gonna try to make it to Casper, Wyoming tonight. It's about 750 miles. Got a cool little place to stay there. Found an Airbnb that's like an old covered wagon type deal, that or it's like a sheep wagon that's been redone into a room. Got like a neat outside shower and stuff, so something a little different I found to try to stay in. And then we'll be there tonight, and then tomorrow I'll be going from Casper, and then I'm going to go ride BEARTOOTH highway the next day, and then we'll see how far we can make it. I kind of have a route planned out. Still maybe trying to think about changing a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to get home any faster no matter how I do it. I was kind of trying to look it up last night and trying to figure out if I'd change my ways a little bit, if it would help, and it doesn't really seem like it, but we'll see. See how the trip goes today, what the weather's like tomorrow, how cold or warm it is when I wake up in the morning, how early I can get taken off and get down the road. So, but I'll probably film a little bit when I get there tonight. Probably not too much on the road today, because it'll just kind of be traveling. There'll be maybe a few cool things to look at or whatnot. If I catch it in time, I'll try to turn the camera on, but I'll probably just meet back up with you guys tonight and show you kind of where I'm staying. If it looks looks cool. And then for sure tomorrow when we do Beartooth Highway, I will be recording a little bit. I don't know how much, and I don't know exactly where, and I'm definitely not going to do the whole thing because it's like 69 miles, 69.5 miles for the whole Beartooth. So, but I will at least maybe make 1 or 2 stops on that, do a little bit of filming for you guys riding, and show as much as I can without giving it all away. But I'm gonna keep heading down the road here, head on to my first stop about 2 hours away, and I'll meet back up with you guys tonight. So getting up to our stay for tonight here. Figure out which one it is. How you doing?
Alright guys, I'm going to kind of show you around just a quick little tour of where I'm staying tonight. It's kind of a dirt road right along here. That's right up into town. It's only like a half mile down here. We got a little porta potty and shower with hot water there. Just got the bike kind of parked right there for now. Gonna get ready and run back into town and get something to eat real quick, but I wanted to film this while it was still light out. Little chair. Brought me a cooler with a couple of waters. Got enough room for a person to sleep, and another little bench over here. You want to sit? It's pretty neat, I think. I'm only gonna be over here or be here for overnight, but it's kind of neat, something different. It was cheap. I think I paid 58 bucks for the night. And if I would have booked it further out, when I first looked at it, it was like 30 bucks, but I wasn't quite sure where I was going to be, what days. I ended up buying it last night, so it was a little bit more, but totally worth it so far. But just wanted to show you guys that real quick. I'm going to run into town and get something to eat. Well, it's the next morning. Slept pretty good in here. It was definitely very comfortable. I went downtown, got me some dinner, and came back and talked to the family for a little while on the phone, and then decided it was time to go to sleep, so I did that. And then got this morning, not leaving quite as early as I wanted to, because I decided to take the time now to set my map with all my stops. I was just kind of doing that as I was stopping each time yesterday. So I figured I'll just take the time to do it this morning. And then I got the bike all packed up now. All I gotta do is put this GoPro on the helmet, put my hoodie on, and take off. And here in about 4.5 hours, maybe a little bit more, because I'm gonna stop one time between then. We're gonna be at Beartooth Highway. So that's probably when I'll bring you guys back with me. May show a couple little clips like I just did on the way here yesterday, if I see anything cool. By the way, if you've seen those clips yesterday, what I just showed a little bit ago, that was yesterday, riding through Wyoming and a little bit of Nebraska. Actually, I think all that was in Wyoming. And I was just kind of dodging the rain the whole time. It just happened to kind of be on one side, it was blue on the other side, and I hit just like a tiny bit. It was just enough to, like, as soon as it hit me, it would pretty well dry. Never gotten anything crazy, and it would only happen for like 30-45 seconds at a time and quit and go on and off. But it was really cool to see it. I'm just glad I didn't hit it, because I got rain gear and stuff. I just would rather not. It's a lot nicer to ride not in the rain. So, but anyways, I'm gonna hop on this bike and get down the road so we can go do Beartooth.
Alright guys, so we're on BEARTOOTH Highway 212 now. Went 11 miles out of Red Lodge, so we're not too far in on it yet. Just kind of still started. It's been pretty beautiful so far though. It's a perfect day. Right now up here at the top where I'm at, it's still warm enough that I can just have my long sleeve on and be plenty fine. We'll see if I have to pull over and put my hoodie back on when we get down the road, but sure feels nice. One little tiny cloud above me, dropping a couple little raindrops, but it's not really supposed to do anything other than that. It's been kind of clear the most part. Just kind of been taking it easy and trying to take in as many sights as I can as I go. There was a little river that was following along right up there at the top. It's kind of down over the side right now. Yeah, like I said, it's just beautiful weather, beautiful scenery. It's a perfect day to do this. Even those few raindrops hitting me is just kind of making a full round as we come right in here to the sun. Wow, look at them trees down there. Lots of bicyclists too on the road. Been crushing a lot of miles on this trip, a lot of long highway stretches and stuff. It feels really good to just kind of finally get a chance to slow down and ride through something like this. It's been waiting for it for a while. Alright, well, I may record just a little bit more here and then I'll cut it off for a while. Wait till we get to some of the real switchbacks and I'll record a little bit more. I don't want to give it all away. I want you guys to be able to come and see some of this stuff for yourself, hopefully. And I also just can't fill the whole video up of recording all this. Pull this up to see what we got ahead. Okay, I may do just a little bit more recording here. Oh yeah. This is Beartooth Lake. It's August 18th. It's not frozen over right now. So officially, I just finished Beartooth Pass. However, like I said, I'm going to keep going on 212 all the way to Tower Junction, Wyoming, and then on up. That kind of finishes off 212. The turnoff for Cody was about a half mile back that way, and that's kind of like the official. It's looking a little dark over there, and it's sprinkling just a little bit now. So I went ahead and pulled over, and I got this GoPro off. I'm gonna put it in my bag. I'm gonna put my rain gear on and stuff because it looks like it might be a little iffy. But yeah, if it dries up, I'll stop again and I'll get it back out. But if not, I might not get to record too much of this, but we'll see. What's up, guys? That last good bit you seen was all Yellowstone National Park. Matter of fact, we're still in Yellowstone National Park, but got another one out there. Yeah, as you've seen, we seen quite a few buffalo going through there. It was pretty cool. I didn't expect to see any really, and let alone that many. I went by and we seen that one on the side of the road, and I turned around and had to go back and film it. But that was just Tower Junction, so we're pretty much done with 212 now. We're gonna go up here just a little ways and then start heading up north towards Livingston. Once we get to Livingston, we'll hit 90 all the way to Missoula. And I'm staying in just like the southern part of Missoula today, not far from LOLO. So I don't know if I'm gonna film anymore here anytime soon, because I've just been filming things as they come. But stick around. Hopefully got maybe a couple more cool things to show you for today's trip. Once we get on 90, it'll just kind of be crushing the miles until we get to where we got to go for the night. But other than that, I'm hoping we can see some cool stuff on the way. So stick around. Been pretty lucky all day. Been kind of chasing the rain. You can see that big cloud. I've just been missing it. Only get a few little sprinkles at the tail end of some things, but oh, big old lightning. I was hoping to get to my destination earlier tonight, but now I think I know why I'm not. Because if I was much ahead of where I'm at now, I'd be running right into that. It's like we're getting hit with a little bit of sprinkle right now. But that little bit of blue sky right over there is right where I'm going to be in just a minute. So yeah, like I said, I've got lucky. It was just like yesterday. Look over one way and it's dark, cloudy sky. Look over the other way, bright blue sky. Just wanted to get that on video. It looks pretty nasty over there. Thankful I don't have to ride in it. I just don't want to have to stop to put my rain gear on, really. That takes a long time. I did it earlier and it didn't rain when I did that, so. Alright, we'll catch you guys later. Well guys, I made it to my destination last night. It was dark. It was like, I stopped in town first and got something to eat and whatnot. And I had about another 10-minute drive out here, so it was about 9:45 when I got here that night. So yeah, like I said, it was dark. Couldn't see anything on the way out here, so I didn't film coming up here. But yeah, I got here. There's a hot tub over there. I went inside and changed, took a quick shower. Sitting there for a while. Sitting out here, it was real dark, so I couldn't quite see it, but right up over this little hill, or this little wall, there's a deer sitting there eating all night. I finally got a picture of it when I got out and came over to the side of the house. He was just sitting there. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just getting ready to go this morning. I'm gonna go do the LOLO Pass. This Airbnb provided breakfast. It's got a couple different options in there. Got some coffee, some fresh cherries, English muffin with homemade cherry jelly. So I'm gonna have that for breakfast, and then we're gonna hit the road. Got the bike all packed up already. It's
pretty peaceful and quiet out here. Almost don't want to fire the bike up, but gonna have to get on the road soon. So hopefully we get some cool shots for you guys today. Alright, I figured I would record a little bit of rolling out of here, just so you guys can kind of see, since I didn't get to show you guys any of it last night. Just gonna kind of try to take my time and idle down the road, let the bike warm up a little bit. I'm not trying to stay here and wake them up. Sounds about 10 times louder when it's pretty well dead silent outside. It was actually kind of my first time seeing it all too here, because like I said last night, I was coming up this road here, it was dark. I couldn't see nothing. Definitely a cool little spot. I'll try to put the names of both the places I stayed the last 2 nights, the Airbnbs, in the description. Hopefully I remember. I should. Now that I'm hearing this, if I edit it, I'll make a note to make sure I figure out what they are and put them in there, so you guys, if you want to, stay at them, I think they look cool. Just remember the one I stayed at last night is definitely only a 1-person stay, just because there's only room for 1 person to sleep. But it's definitely really cool. This one's got plenty of room. She also has a different room available. It is in their house. I have once before. I normally like to get where I'm by myself, but this one wasn't bad at all. She kind of greeted me when I got in and showed me around a little bit, and then that was it, and it was very quiet. It's just about like being in the house by myself, so no complaints at all there. Yeah, it's a tad bit chilly this morning, but it's alright. Just kind of take our time and roll back home. Got about 325 miles to go today till we're back home. I'm ready to be back and see my wife and daughters. It's kind of nice that the last day is a short day. After 2 700-mile something days, 325-mile day should feel like a walk around the block. Yeah, this is a really neat road. It was pretty cool. At night it was just completely dark. I couldn't see nothing but the road and these yellow signs, and it's because there's so many trees around here, it makes it really dark at night. So at least I'm getting to see it now. Got about 100 miles left of the LOLO road, but I just had to stop because I was coming down this big grade, and I
I had to get a picture of the bike next to that because I thought that was pretty cool. Winding road for 99 miles, straight down the hill. But yeah, I got that now, so let's get back on the road here. Record for just a second. Definitely ready to get out of the shade. Okay, because it's really hard to record all this. I keep wanting to, because it's been pretty beautiful. It's actually way cooler than what I thought it was going to be. But just for an example, ever since I left that last sign and got down that hill, I've been going in and around curves, and then I'll come to places like this. This is the biggest one so far, but there's a river running all the way down the side of the road. And yeah, it's been really cool. Haven't seen any wildlife yet. I've been trying to watch, especially down here by the river early this morning, but yeah, like I said, I just kind of wanted to stop and at least give you guys a little bit of a gist of what it's been looking like. Because like I said, I can't record this whole thing. This video will be way too long if I kept recording. Yeah, it's a lot like this right here, pretty well all the way through. This is actually one of the best spots so far. I'll keep searching, hopefully find some kind of wildlife for you guys. I don't know if I'll be able to get the camera on in time if I do, but I'll try my best. I've been running pretty slow, way under the speed limit, just because I've been kind of chilling. I've been trying to look around a lot, so I'm not trying to fly through these curves, not paying attention and stuff, and it's slightly chilly, so going a little slower is a little more comfortable. But yeah, really, I'm just kind of trying to take it all in. I could probably ride this road 100 times and still miss something. Alright, so I kind of felt like stopping for just a second. I wanted to check something out here. There's a little trail down to a bridge that goes across the river I've been riding on. So I figured I'd walk down here and check that out real quick. Take you guys with me. I don't believe it's too far down. It's pretty close to, oh yeah, it's right there already. Oh yeah, wow. It's actually a really nice bridge. Pretty neat little stop. Walk on over here and see how. I think it might be an actual trail that goes down a little ways, but not 100% sure. I just kind of wanted to stop and come down here to this bridge. There's a lot of little trailheads all along this road. Oh yeah, it goes on up there a little way somewhere. I wouldn't mind coming back down this road one day and spending all day on this road. Being able to go on some of these hikes and stuff, bring the family down here, and stop at a couple different places. Be kind of a neat trip for a day. Looks like there's lots of stuff to do. I seen one guy out fishing. I don't know how much fish they really got in this river. Can't really see any, but anyways, I'm gonna head back on up here and probably move on down the road a little bit. If I see another spot that looks kind of cool, I might stop and then show you guys. Got about an hour or so left on LOLO until I get to Cusquilla. I think I'm saying that right, but and then after that it'll just be straight home. Not as pretty of a sight after that. I've already kind of drove that in a pickup before, but that's why I figured I'd kind of take my time on this and take in the sights. Then I can just book it home after that on another road. So, alright, catch you right down the road.
Okay, so I lost a pretty important part of this video, so I'm jumping in here real quick to tell you what happened. I didn't get to finish the LOLO road. Right after that last stop you just seen, I was walking up to the bike, and it's kind of a gravelly lot like, and I could tell my rear tire was getting down pretty low, and I already knew it was getting pretty low. It was wearing in the center really bad from all them just long highway miles and the extra weight on the back. I'd been kind of keeping an eye on it. I thought I could get it home, and I kind of brushed the dirt off, and I could see cords, and I kind of pushed the bike forward, and I looked all around the tire, and it was pretty much corded all the way around. So I was 45 miles from the nearest town, Cusquilla, and I had to try to make it there, and I did try to make it there. After that I was riding really slow, just kind of putting along, and after that I probably made it maybe 5-10 miles down the road, and I felt it get really kind of weird, and I pulled over and it went completely flat. I had my little air pump with me. I tried to air it up to see if it'd hold for like a mile or two down the road, and then just kind of keep pumping it up until I could get to the nearest town to be able to call anybody, because at this point I didn't have any service either out on that road, and wasn't happening. So I was doing everything I could to just limp the bike as far as I could down the road. It was riding like shit. I mean, I could get it down the road a little bit, but then it's like the tube's getting bound up in it, and then it would kind of have a bump in the back. And luckily it was still wide enough out over my wheel itself that it wasn't hurting my rim. But anyways, had a couple people kind of stop. The second guy, he had a pop-up camper that he was hauling with his wife, and he couldn't do nothing for me. The only person that was going to be able to help me was somebody with a trailer that could take me to the next town. And that guy took off, and he's like, well, I'll try to send somebody your way. I said, okay. I said, well, I'll be probably not very far down the road. I'm going to try to keep limping it as far as I can. And I came up on this little campground. I pulled over, I started walking into it, and I was getting a little far away from the bike, so I was starting to walk back over to the bike. About that time, somebody came up on a four-wheeler. He asked me, he's like, hey, you got the guy with the Harley? And I said, yeah. And he was like, well, hop on, we'll go get the trailer. And he took me into town. Like I said, it was 45 miles, so about an hour or so more into town. There were some surveyors out there, and I didn't end up getting him on video or nothing. I didn't get a chance to ask either one of them, and I was just kind of in the moment trying to get where I needed to go. But really appreciate people out there helping nowadays. I was able to get to that next town. I was hoping to maybe get to Lewiston, but that would have been a whole nother hour and a half for him. So it would have been 2.5 hours back to where he had to go. So that just wasn't possible. So it got me there. Tried to look for a U-Haul place or something, couldn't find nothing. So long story short, I got a hold of the Harley dealer in Lewiston, Idaho. They sent a truck out. Cost me $100 to get an hour and a half, a bike an hour and a half to the dealership, which I didn't think was bad. They had a rear tire in stock. The gentleman that came and picked me up, he was super cool. Talked to him the whole time. He told me that they had a deal going on with Dunlop, which I actually still need to mail in, but it's a rebate, and you get like $100 back from Dunlop if you buy 2 tires. And I was like, okay, well, my front tire is going to need done soon too, and at this point I just wanted to get them done so I get home safe that night. And so got to the dealership, and yeah, that's pretty much where it goes from there. The rest of the video will kind of go over what happened after that.
Well, so I got my bike to a Harley dealer. They were putting some tires on it, and they kept wanting to try to buy it from me and trade, and they finally got me to try this Street Glide out, and I was like, yeah, sure. I said, I'm really not going to buy a bike, you know, and they got me on it. I took it for a test ride, and well, now I'm on the way home. Just kidding, guys. I'm not going to do that, especially for a black Street Glide. No way. They just figured I was bored and asked me if I wanted to go for a little ride, so while I waited on my bike, so I took him up. I really only wanted to ride that one first, and then he took me out on this, and he was like, oh, I'll let you ride this so you can kind of feel the difference. And this is a brand new Street Glide versus 19 ST. But anyways, I'm not really going to video this. I think I still got my camera in standard mode anyways, so I just want to mess with you guys for a minute. Alright, well, I'm all fixed up, as you can see, back on my own bike. I got 2 tires done on it. The front was gonna need it soon anyways too, and I didn't feel like pushing my luck today. They had a deal going with Dunlop tires. It's like a mail-in rebate for 2 tires, $100. So I went ahead and had them do it. Wasn't cheap. The haul was like an hour and a half one way that they picked me up from. That was only $100, which really wasn't bad. But total, it was like $1,100, like $300 and some dollars in labor. And I don't have the tires I had on it before. They're both Dunlops now, so it's not too big a deal. I would have rather put the Metzlers back on it, but I'll see how these do. They got me fixed up. I'm gonna be home tonight, hopefully. So, God willing, as long as everything else works out all right. Just kind of taking my time, cruising on home. Make sure I make it safe. It'll be just right after dark or right at dark, I think. But not too big a deal. I'm ready to be home with my family. It's been a long 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks, but man, I was telling my wife earlier, I said it felt like longer because I was going to these different stops. You know, I went to Sturgis for 3 days, then I went to Kansas overnight, but then I went to Louisiana and I was there for a while. Then I came back and I was back in Kansas for about 2 days, and then, you know, so it kind of felt like I was starting a new trip every time, and it just made it feel like it was longer or whatever. But I still really enjoyed my time. I'm ready to be back with my family and see them, especially after today. I was supposed to be home hours ago, and it just didn't work out. Just a lot of waiting around, kind of stressful. But I'm just glad to be back on the road, headed towards home in the right direction again. So thankful for that. I'm gonna get home, and I'll do probably a little outro when I get home. Tell you guys a couple more things, and then that'll be it for this video. So I'll see you guys back in the garage.
Alright guys, so I just recorded a video and I was going to add it on to the end of this video, but it's 10 minutes long. I know this video is already going to be really long, so I don't want to extend it anymore. So I'm going to make a separate video and put it out randomly in the week, maybe like a couple days after this one. So check it out. It's just going to be me unpacking and kind of showing you what I had packed on the trip. So if that interests you, like I said, it'll probably be a couple days after this. I don't know exactly what day I'll put it out. It might be like midweek or this weekend or something like that. So keep an eye out for it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. It'll be a while before I get to do something like this again, probably. But we'll be back to our regular shorter videos here in the next few weeks. I know these last 2 were kind of long, but like I said, I hope you still enjoyed them. Anyways, thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys next week.